Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Story Time. This episode is really special to me because our guest was actually a player of ours this season in Reno. It's Benji Kikanovic. He is one of the coolest, funniest guys. He's one of my favorites on the club. And I'm so excited to catch up with him. A lot has changed since the end of the season, but you'll hear about it in the episode, and I hope you enjoy it. All right, y'all, we are back. I'm here with Benji Kikanovic, who, like I said in the intro, was one of my favorite dudes in Reno, and I'm catching up with him now in the off season. Benji, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, still in Reno. You're back home, right?
Yep, I'm back home in Sacramento, California, my hometown. So it's nice to be home.
A whole hour and a half drive from Reno, super far.
Yeah, I know, for real. It's always nice. Sometimes on off days, I go home, get some food, chill, and then go back.
Home cooking, that's what I miss the most from not being in Phoenix, is like my mom's cooking. I crave it because I suck at cooking. But
Yeah, so do I. I don't think I cooked one meal while I was in Reno. It was always someone else
what?
either cooked for me, one of the teammates, and I would just pay for it, or I just go get Chipotle because you can't go wrong with Chipotle. And it's pretty cheap for how much food you get.
Yeah, that's my go-to. I live right next to Legends, so it's 30 seconds from me. Get it all the time.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
who on the team would cook for you guys? Like, 'cause I know y'all live together. So
Yeah. So DLC, he's the youngest one, and then it's me. So he would always cook. He would cook us like a steak and like a whole bunch of like sides and stuff. So usually we'd be like, "Yo, DLC, are you trying to cook for us?" And he'd be like, sometimes he'd say no, which kind of sucks because his steak that he makes is bomb. I know it's gonna fill his head up if he hears this, but so sometimes when he says no, it's kind of depressing because then it's like, what am I gonna eat? Now I gotta go drive, go get Chipotle, and everyone's like just trying to like chill at home. Um, but when he does say yes, we just go to Walmart. We all throw in like some money. I'll like buy steak. Someone else will like buy the sides and whatnot, like some corn, rice, and then we just bring it back, and then we'll tell DLC, yo, all the food's here, and then we just let him do his thing. We say we're gonna help, but we don't really help.
So y'all had the youngest person on the team cooking for everyone.
Yes, pretty much. And then they said they would help. I know I wouldn't help. I just like watch them and then just do my thing. I'm like, nice, man. And then once the food, I'm like, oh my God, this is bomb. So I wasn't really much of a help. I just buy the food really and then do my part. The rest, I just eat. I do my dishes and then call it a wrap. Go back to my room, chill, relax, and call it a night.
There you go. And you guys had food brought to you like after training though, right? So you got some
Yeah.
meals.
Yeah, so we'd have breakfast. So they'll provide breakfast, and then once we're done with training and all that, then we'd get lunch. So sometimes we had lunch, this meatloaf thing. Everyone loved it, but I swear, whenever we had meatloaf, I hated it. I'd always give it to someone. I'm like, bro, I don't want this meatloaf. Someone take it. I don't need to eat meatloaf. So, and then like when I come back, I shower, I drink my little protein shake, then I go grab food because I don't like the meatloaf. But they keep getting it, so it's a one
What was
against
your
like 23.
what was your favorite one that they had?
Probably one of the pastas. I forgot the names of them, but there was two that were good. It was one of them was chicken pomodoro, I think, and the other one I don't even know what the other one was, but all I know is that it was bomb. And those two, even though, like, hear me out. I hate pasta. Like, I think like it doesn't like fill you up at all, and it's just so plain. But it was my favorite when I was in Reno because for some reason it filled me up, which doesn't make any sense. Because usually, like, if I go to like let's say Olive Garden,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Olive Garden. Like, if someone tells me let's go to Olive Garden, I'm like, why would I want to go eat pasta? All they have is
Yeah, I don't
pasta
like it either.
and garlic bread, or whatever the little breadsticks that they have. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you guys really think I want to go there when I could just make that if I really wanted to like eat that? So, but in Reno, the pasta, I don't know, it just always filled me up. I'm not sure why. I don't know what it was. Probably because like I didn't have to make it and it was free.
There you
And you know
go.
what they say, whenever you get something free, it's way better for some reason. So that's probably what it was. Even though I'm not a big pasta fan, I like steak. That's why we had DLC always cooking us some steak. So can't go wrong with steak.
Jealous. Can you tell I haven't eaten today? And like, that's just why I want to talk about food for the first 5 minutes of this.
Yeah, see, why didn't you eat? You know what they say, breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
I never eat breakfast. I'm not into like breakfast food. I don't like it.
Really?
Hmm.
How? Not even like breakfast burritos? Because those are bomb. I'll eat those all day, every day. I can eat
No.
those for like lunch and dinner.
I
And then
do
like a
like
late night.
McDonald's breakfast though, like egg McMuffin and a hash brown. That's a solid breakfast for me.
No, that's nasty. No, I cannot eat McDonald's breakfast. It's foul. I can't. Like maybe like everything else. But usually when I go to McDonald's, my order is not anything from breakfast because that's nasty. It's usually just two McChickens, a medium fry, and you got to go with the M&M McFlurry, not the Oreo. The Oreo is not good. M&M is way better.
What? Oreo is 100 times better. But what is
Oh.
better, a McFlurry or a Blizzard from Dairy Queen?
I never had a Blizzard from Dairy Queen, so I'm gonna go with the McFlurry. So
Benji, you have to try them. They're so good. They're
no,
the
I
ones where
can't.
like,
Can't.
why?
I can't change it up. I can't change it up. I gotta stick to the routine, you know.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyways, before my stomach starts growling and you can hear it on here, let's talk about soccer. So you spent this season in Reno,
Yep.
and you were a rookie. So what was it like to sign your first pro contract and then head over to Reno?
I mean, it was good. It was it was exciting for me and especially my family. I know my dad and mom, all that they they were super happy for me. Obviously, I was happy. When I first like signed, it was kind of like it didn't like sink in quite yet. You know what I mean? So once I signed it, I got to Reno. I was like, damn, this is really what I'm about to be doing. So it's kind of like I was super happy about it. I know my parents were super happy. And then when I got to Reno, I kind of moved in, got everything ready. It was kind of like let's go to work, get to work. And when I first got to my first training session, it was freezing cold, and I hate the cold. It was snowing, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Yo, what is going on here?" It just wasn't fun. Like the cold, I can't. Something with the cold, I just cannot. I hate snow, and it snowed there, and it wasn't even
Mhm.
like a little bit of snow. And my car is not like anything like made for snow, so just the weather when I first got there was whack. But overall, just being there my first year was super fun. We had a really good season. I ended up coming short, but it was still good. I think me and a lot of the guys kind of were close to each other, so it was dope.
Yeah, and then obviously I know from the staff side, but for you guys with the COVID shutdown, we were 3 days, I think, before the home opener, at least when the staff got the news. So for you, just being a rookie and being so young and also being away from your family, how did you deal with just everything shutting down in one day?
It was kind of like out of nowhere. Like I seen like a whole bunch of other leagues like they're shutting down and whatnot. So I was like, I don't think we're gonna like shut down. I don't think. And then I don't know. They're like, yeah, we're gonna just stop it and everything. So I was kind of like bummed out because it's my first year. So obviously, like you want to get it, train as much as you can, play as much as you can, and do all that. You know what I mean? But I mean, it was tough because then it's like, oh, here we are, no training, no games, no nothing. So it's like you just chill at home and then kind of go out and train with your teammates. But it's not like the same. Like the level is never going to be the same, especially having the coaching staff there. So it's kind
Mhm.
of tough and all that. So
And you were lucky to have Ian Russell as the head coach, who I personally do not think will stay in USL much longer. He's had such success and having players go to MLS. So, what was it like having a coach like Ian, who's played with guys like Landon Donovan, had the experience, and to have him as your first coach?
yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think he's going to stay in USL much longer either. I think he should be out of there, go somewhere better for him and his family. But I mean, it was super cool just having him as a coach because like he's been pretty much to where the level I want to be, if not more for
Mm-hmm.
myself. But I mean, just knowing that he's been like around that level, especially like being at the top and being with Landon Donovan and all that, it's super cool to have him because he knows a lot more than you think. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like you want to kind of take it as a learning experience and kind of sink in all the knowledge that he could give you, especially just asking questions, even if you think like they're stupid questions. I would just go ahead and ask him. He might like be like, "Are you serious right now?" But at the end of the day, you got to ask. Especially like if you know, the more you know, the better. I know I wouldn't. For me personally, I don't really think I asked him really any questions. I know sometimes he'd be messing around with me because my heading, I'd work on my heading at the end of training, and he'd be like, sometimes I'll mess up, and I won't hit it hard, and he'd be like, Benji, you gotta hit it hard. I'm like, Ian, I know that. That's why you think I'm on the field, and it's just funny when he's kind of messing around with you. But I'm like, Ian, I already know that, but thank you for telling me. So it's like I run it back. It's better and better, but when you don't like get it right, then he kind of gives you shit for it. But I mean, it's still, that's Ian for you. He's been a good coach. I mean, you see what he's done with Reno the past 4 years, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He's always winning. So if you're winning, you're doing something right.
For sure. And you mentioned working on the headers and everything. So for people that don't know you or haven't seen you in person, like, you're a tall dude, and I've seen you go up for them in matches. And I have to know, I've never asked a player this. Does it actually hurt as bad as it looks like it does?
Heading the ball? No,
Yeah.
it does not at all. It's
like when there's other guys going for it, it doesn't hurt at all?
Nah, well, you see, it will hurt, but like you kind of have to commit to it and hit it. Like you have to hit the ball. You can't let the ball hit you, because if the ball hits you, then obviously it's gonna hurt. You know what I mean? So you gotta, if you're gonna hit the ball with your head, you better commit and hit it. Because if you don't, you just let it just dink you on the head, then it's done. It's gonna hurt you.
So, but what about when like other players are going for it? Like, I'm sure it looks like their heads hit yours. How does that not hurt?
I mean, sometimes like you get like a little knock like in the back of your head, but for the most part, like it doesn't really hurt. It's kind of like you get like an adrenaline rush, like just playing the whole game. So it's like, unless you really get like smacked super hard, then it's not gonna really hurt you. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So.
Well, that's good to know. And then you also, your first professional match was against San Diego Loyal, though it was a friendly. So how cool was it to play with Landon Donovan on the other team? Like, I know fans were going crazy. Just how cool was it for you? Were you starstruck at all?
I mean, I wouldn't say I was starstruck. Like obviously I know who it is, but at the end of the day, like, I know maybe some guys, I'm different when it comes to like stuff like that. Obviously, like it's cool, like yo, it's Landon Donovan. But at the end of the day, like I'm not there for him. You know what I mean? I'm there for myself. So it's like I'm here to kind of show what I got. And just knowing that like he's watching, because I'm sure, Landon Donovan, he has like a whole bunch of connections. So if you play well, then it's like, he might be like, yo, this guy stuck out. And then he might, because coaches always talk in this business. So you kind of want to make sure you do as much as you can, especially when you're on the field and you get the chance. I know when we went to San Diego, I actually picked up an injury against Portland. I'm not sure if you remember. It was like 10 minutes into the game, not even like 8 minutes. I rolled my ankle and I got subbed out.
Yeah, I was on stretcher duty and I was worried that I was going to have to put you on the stretcher. And I was like, oh my God, if I have to carry Benji, like I'm going to hurt him more.
Yeah, no. So I picked up that injury like 8 minutes into a game, and I was so mad at myself because usually, here's the thing. In college, I rolled my ankle, my same ankle that I rolled, which is my right ankle. So I rolled it like really, really, really bad, and I would always tape it, So I would tape it and tape it and tape it. And when we came back from like the pandemic, like the coronavirus quarantine, all that, when we came back, started playing again, I was like, yo, my ankle's kind of like feeling like really good. Like I'm not going to tape it. And I played like 7 games. I started I would say I started 6 in a row, 7. And then this game we started and I was feeling good the whole game. And then like, not even the whole game, like first 5 minutes, we started playing, the ball gets crossed and I just step on the other guy and then it was done. And I knew like right when it happened, I was like, yo, this is not good. So I tried to get up. And the ref's like asking like, do I want to train? I'm like, dude, can you like let me like be in pain for a little bit? Like chill out. He's like, do you want to train? I'm like, I'm not trying to answer no questions. And then obviously I said, yeah, I want to train. Like bring me the trainer. And Steve ended up coming, and I was like, yo, let me get up, Steve. I try to get up, and I walk on it, and it hurts. And I'm walking. I'm like, yo, I can't. And I try to sit down, and Steve's like, no, don't sit down. I'm like, what do you mean don't sit down? It hurts. So I end up just limping all the way across to the whole bench. And I was like, yo, this is not chill at all. But it was a pain. So.
And shout out Dr. Zebrak. I saw him working with you on the side. That guy is the MVP of Reno 1868.
Yeah, he's clutch. He comes in big time. He was helping me. He was telling me he was just some big words. I don't know anything what they meant. All I knew was that my ankle was in pain. I rolled it really bad, and it just wasn't chill. And
then you came back for the end of the season, so.
Yeah, I only missed one game, so I was kind of surprised how fast I recovered. But big shout out to Steve and Luis, just the whole staff, really, all the trainers, not the coaches. The coaches didn't really help with the ankle,
They just looked at it and they're like, eh.
Yeah, exactly. They just asked how are you? I'm like, doing good.
Well, other people that you had to learn from on the club, guys like the team dad, Corey Herzog, Foster Langsdorf, who just went to Minnesota. So how special was it to learn from those guys, both dealing with a shutdown, but then coming back and making it to the postseason?
I mean, it was awesome. I know for me, it was my first year, so I kind of from Corey, Corey would always invite us to his house. He's super chill, laid back dude. He'd always kind of want to have just people hanging out and whatnot. So he'd always invite us, and I would always kind of just ask him questions yo, what have you learned from being in the league so long? And always, like I said, with even with Ian, you kind of just want to, the more you know, the better. So I kind of always try to ask questions that would help me as a player. Mm-hmm. And that's what I would ask Corey and even Foster, because Foster was at Portland. Mm-hmm. And then he came here. So they both kind of know what they're doing, what they're talking about. So it's always good to kind of see how other people look at things compared to you, especially since I'm in my first year. So I give him a big shout out, just kind of, because they always help me out, even with just little things yo, see right here, you got to do this, that, but it's just little things, but those little things will make a big difference in the game. So them two did a really good job trying to guide me, kind of make me a better player.
That's awesome. And I know, obviously, like I've said before, this wasn't a normal season where you can't have your family and friends in the stands, or you didn't get the full experience of starting as a rookie. But for you, did you still have a favorite moment during the season? Was there still something where you're like, okay, I'm going to remember that for the rest of my career?
Favorite moment during the season? I mean, there was a lot, but I'm going to have to go with when I scored my first goal. Obviously, that's big for me. Obviously, it kind of took a couple games, so I knew it was coming. But, it kind of, when you know it's coming, it's, the worst part, because it's yo, maybe I could have, scored the other game in this situation. You always, think about it, yo, why haven't I scored yet? But I knew it was coming, so I was kind of, keeping my cool. But I would have to say, when I think on my first goal, Brent it was a throw-in, and I headed it, and then, their player headed it back to me for some reason. I don't know why he did that. And then, it was perfectly, came down, and I just took a touch turn, and I just shot it. And it was, it was just super cool. I felt like I was in, a movie when it happened, because, it just all happened so fast. And I just scored. I didn't even know, where I was going. I was just, running. I didn't really care. So, it was, I mean, I was super happy when it happened. So, I would probably have to say that was my favorite moment. And then during the season, I mean, this is kind of towards the end of the season, but I would say when everything, when we got knocked out, we had basically everyone was together at the field, and we just all hanging out, having a good time, barbecuing, playing games, everything. I would say that probably tops the goal, just because it shows how close we are and were as a team. Everyone was literally, every single player was there, and we were just hanging out, messing around, just doing dumb stuff, just hanging out, kicking it, nothing crazy. Even the coaches were there, Ian, Chris, Steve, Luis, everyone was there. So just knowing everyone's there kind of it's always important to kind of have like a second family, especially as teammates, because every day you show up, you see each other, so it's good to have that relationship with one another.
That's so cool. I love that. And it's
Yeah.
so, like, unfortunately, I know a lot of the staff wasn't there, so we didn't get to see the connection with you guys or bring you out into the community more, but that's still so good to know that y'all were so close. I know with Corey and Shaw's gender reveal, like, everyone was so excited, hoping for a boy. Like, so it's just moments like that that I know were really special.
Exactly.
With you guys. And unfortunately, there won't be any more of those moments because the club is no more. However, I'm going to use this to allow you to pitch why somebody should sign you. So, like, if they're looking at a whole group of players and they're like, all right, what is special about Benji Kikanovic? What is it?
I would have to say with I could kind of create whenever, really, one-on-one. Even if I don't have the ball or I do have the ball, I always create something. I make something happen. Especially when I do have the ball, it's either we're gonna get a big chance or we're gonna score. It's either one or the other. And like I would always say, if you look at the film, it's there. So that's I think makes me kind of different compared to like a lot of players. I think I'm super dynamic. I have size too, so I'm not like a little short guy. So I could go up in the air. I could kind of shield the ball, hold the ball up. I kind of do it all. But for the most part, I would say super dangerous. Obviously, there's a lot more to work on, but I think just being super dangerous and dynamic, especially up top, which is what you want to, where you want to be at, because you can't win a game if you don't score. So you need chances to score, and that's what I bring. So.
Perfect. Well, for anybody that wants to follow along and see which club you end up with on social media, what are your handles?
My Instagram is Benjo18, so BENJOO 18, the number 18, and then my Twitter is the same thing, BENJOO, but it's two underscores, not one, two of them.
They were the one with one underscore was already taken or something?
Well, you see, before I used to like make a whole bunch of accounts and then I'd forget the password because like I always forget things. So, I would make them and then I would forget the password, so I can't like deactivate the account so I can make the same little username. So I had to switch it up.
So this was round like 2 or 3 for this account.
Well, so my Twitter one, I have like 3 accounts, I swear.
Oh my God.
But I don't know. And Facebook, I even have Facebook, but like I only go on that for like family, like that's in Bosnia, which is where like my parents are originally from. But even for Facebook, I have like 5 accounts, but I forgot the password to them. But this one now, I don't even know the password to it now. It's just saved on the computer. So if it like gets messed up on the computer, then I'm gonna have to make another one.
All right, well, everyone go follow Benji before he forgets his password. Has to create a new account. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Benji, thank you so much for joining me. It was so good to catch up with you. And good luck. I look forward to seeing what club is lucky enough to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you're staying safe. And I have read that your dad has been sick, so I hope he's doing way better. And I'm sure he'll fight through it. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, he is doing much better. Spent 2 trips to the ER, but then he got the miracle medicine that Trump got somehow. So
it
he's
worked.
good now. So
that's good. That's perfect. That's what you need.
The first thing he did after he recovered was he went to Walmart. So you got to live it up when you're COVID free.
Exactly. You know what they say, health is wealth.